Hey there, and welcome to another one of my Slab City updates. Let me apologize first of all for not getting a video out last Sunday, but I've actually been kind of busy, and I will get to reasons why I didn't later. Yeah, so like I said, been pretty busy. Currently there is some film students here. They've been building a set, and they're going to start filming a short movie tomorrow. I'm going to be an extra in that. Kind of excited about that. Get paid for it. That's kind of cool. Let's see, what else? And yeah, actually I'll get a little video of that site later on. I'm actually hoping to get some of those people to do some 4 questions with cause. So, yeah, last week. So, the reason why I was too busy to do anything last week was I was supposed to get some couch surfers from Germany to come crash with me, and at the same time, I also came across some more pallets, and so I actually wanted to build my bed nook. And so rather than just having a tent in here, so I was busy building that. Unfortunately, they were a no-show. They did keep in contact with me throughout the process, but yeah, I didn't find out until, well, actually the day after, because they had originally told me, oh yeah, we don't think we're going to make it down there tonight. We planned too much stuff. How about we just hang out tomorrow during the day, and didn't get a message until later on in the afternoon the next day, so kind of sat around waiting for them, and they weren't going to show. But anyways, got my bed nook done. I'm not going to include a tour of that quite yet, because one of the film students mentioned something about having a GoPro, and I'm going to check to see if they have that, because the lens on that is really good for giving tours in a small area. My tablet just isn't. Unless I reduce the resolution, and then it's not high def, so why? Yeah, anyways, so hopefully next week you'll get a tour of that. Guess I want to clear the air regarding corn and myself. There seems to be a little bit of talk in the comments that make it seem like me and Cornelius don't get along, and that's just not the case. We're very supportive of each other's channels. We just don't eat together anymore, and it basically comes down to we have different philosophies, and they just don't mesh eating together. I came here with enough food that I could really feed myself for a year. I mean, it's mainly staples and things like that. I did feel like I would be getting a lot more produce and things like that from doing dumpster diving, but really there's just no dumpster diving around here, unless you want to do AM, PM, and then that's just hot dogs and hamburgers and things like that that have been sitting underneath the oven lights a little bit too long, so they throw them out. It's really only the type of dumpster diving that's been around here, where I was pretty used to locations being close enough where somebody in my eating scene would generally go get all kinds of produce. We shared with other people. We had so much produce. And other people dumpster dived at Dancing Rabbit and would share with people. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not getting that, but I'm also getting supplemented with commodities and Ernie's. And, it's not fresh produce, it's canned produce, but it's still something. And so, yeah, I brought most of my stuff here. It's lots of staples. that you have to actually soak and cook and stuff like that. And I was also only eating one meal there. And so they are both on EBT and have $200 to spend each month, and they buy, whatever they want. And a lot of times it's not choices that I would make buying stuff, which is why, when I originally approached them, it was like, we provide the food for our own meals. Because, then people don't have to judge people's choices. So, yeah, we get along, we're supportive of each other, there's no beef. We just realized that part of our relationship wasn't working, so, let's eliminate that, and we did. So, there are no hard feelings. People trying to start shit in the fucking comments can stop, because it's not going to work. Another thing I want to address about the comment section is, sorry if I don't have your name right, but Dragonetta. Supposedly she's no longer, or he, I have no clue what sex it is, no longer going to support my channel because of my support of the Confederate flag, or actually the rebel flag. It's not really a Confederate flag. Because it's supposedly a sign of racism. Notice my shirt today. My shirt says, slavery gets shit done. Notice it's a pyramid. So the slaves from the pyramid had nothing to do with their actual race, but rather their religion. And there are kinds of white people, lots of white women who are in the sex slave trade. Slavery has been around. I don't participate in it, and the reason why I have this shirt is because when I lived at Dancing Rabbit, we had a work exchange program, and basically people would come work and help build stuff. In exchange, we gave them a tent platform to set their tent up on, and we fed them. So that's really not much more than, what slavery is. The only difference is they chose to. But a lot of times in the early beginnings, like when I first came there, Wexers would get worked 70, 80 hours a week, and they weren't really able to participate in other parts of the community. So I bought this shirt to kind of bring awareness to that fact. And honestly, lots of people at Dancing Rabbit didn't like this shirt, and the people who didn't like the shirt were the people who were working their Wexers way too fucking hard. So yeah, I know why you didn't like it. I know that. And I know you don't like me because I bring that shit up. But yeah, when I had Wexers, they worked a maximum of 32 hours a week, and that included their cook shift. Most other Wexers didn't include their cook shift. It included their clean team activities and cleaning the common house. It also included their humanure shift if they needed it. Another thing that I like to do to make sure that my Wexers got to see more than just what I was doing is I would have them work 8 hours a week on a project for somebody else in the community. It could have been a community-wide project. It could have been somebody else's project. But I wanted them 8 hours a week to work on something else. So, yeah. But a couple of things in the comments from Dragonetta, she said something about her or my people. And my people, unless it's like your close circle of friends, is a fucking racist statement. We are people. Alright? Not my people. Fucking people. Slavery is fucking bullshit. People shouldn't own each other. Unless they're into that sort of thing. And, I know there are kinks out there, and I'm not judging those people who want to be slaves and stuff like that. But I'm talking about people fucking actually abducted, or parents, because the economy is so bad where they live, they sell their children into slavery. Like, I'm not talking, that's the type of slavery that I'm talking is bullshit. But yeah, like, I'm really disappointed that Dragonetta didn't look at any of the facts. Like, less than 50% of any population in any of the southern states owns slavery. Let that sink in a minute. In every single Confederate state, less than 50% of that state's population had slaves. The Civil War wasn't about slavery, people. Wake the fuck up. Alright, so I'm disappointed that you left my channel without actually trying to understand where I'm coming from. But I understand you're a racist. You know, your people. So I also got some mail, going back to Cornelius. Somebody sent me some mail to her post office box, and it's a little letter. I decided I would open it and let you all know what's in here. Give you an idea of some of the stuff Cornelius and myself get in the mail. Oh, the burning hell, 1,000 degrees hot and not a drop of water. Oh, good old religious stuff. Oh, yeah. And this is my favorite part. Is you need to get saved. Part of the reason why I opened this up on here is because I knew what it was. Corin got one. I was in town with her. She opened it up in the van. We got a good chuckle. I was all like, oh, I'm so disappointed. I don't need to be saved. And then that showed up. Alright, so the reality is fuck God. Yeah, I don't need to be saved. You know, what I could use from God is a rusty trombone. And if you don't know what a rusty trombone is, that's where I'll get up on all fours, and then God can spread my ass cheeks and give a good lick on my anus while tugging on my junk. And the reason why I say this is, with such disdain, is the fact that my daughter was physically abused by some man that my ex-wife moved directly out of my house into his house. And he abused her at 2 years of age to the point where her face and head were 3/4 black and blue. In the morning, her eyes would be completely swelled shut from all the blood running to it. Hospitalized for 5 days. Now, a God that allows that to happen to children is not a God I'm interested in knowing at all. I'm not interested in being saved by him. I have no interest in meeting him or her or whoever it is. So, please save your religious nutball garbage for somebody that can be saved. Like, one of the sayings out here is, we're all here because we're not all there. And yeah, I'm definitely not all there because of that fucking incident. I suffer from post-traumatic stress over that. I have all kinds of violent nightmare dreams when I'm not allowed to have pot on a regular basis. Because when I have pot on a regular basis, it does allow me not to dream, or at least I don't remember them at all, or wake up in them or anything like that. So, like, I'm really thankful for that. Unfortunately, there hasn't been any pot on the slabs for a bit. Everybody just kind of has their personal. There's none actually available for sale. I will have to say to everybody who has been sharing their personal with me and catching me a bus. I love you. You know, I definitely appreciate that. It is medicine for me. It does help. Thank you very much. And yeah, fuck off, you religious nut job. Hey there. I definitely want to... Let's start this over. 3, 2, 1. So, I definitely support the food is free movement. If you're not familiar with that, basically it's saying that, you know, food should be free. And I totally agree with that. Like, we are the only creature on this planet that pays for food. Not only that, but we domesticate animals that otherwise out in the wild find their own food, don't pay for it, yet we domesticate them and then pay for their food. Like, so it's really against nature for food not to be free. Some exceptions to that. Yes, canning, the labor that's put into it, that shouldn't be free for like canning and you know, a restaurant or things like that. But that's what they should be charging for. They shouldn't actually be charging for things that pretty much grow naturally. And, you know, if we maintained our population that would support that, we wouldn't have to. So I really do believe food should be free. And with that, I decided to go do a little wild crafting in a place that is affectionately known as the Slab City Walmart. And I came up with a few of these things sitting out there. The Walmart is literally just where people take and they'll go throw stuff they don't want anymore out there. Garbage, you name it. And this time a couple of things of wonton soup that was just sitting out there perfectly good. Well, I'm assuming perfectly good. I have made a little bit to sample from, but yeah, wild crafting at its best. For those of you who know what wild crafting is, you know this is kind of a joke. It's the Slab City edition of wild crafting. But yeah, this is the wonton soup. I've made a little bit of it, and you know, let's see. Was there a reason why they throw it out? Did it go bad? I didn't see any expiration date or anything on it. I don't know how this is supposed to taste, but hopefully it's pretty good. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's a little soup mix, but it's perfectly fine. I don't know why people throw this away. Maybe they should have asked somebody if they wanted it. I mean, even ask people you don't know if they want it. I mean, carry this around for you a little bit. Next time you see somebody asking for money, give them food. Anyway, so this is perfectly edible. And I will finish that up a little bit later. Anyways, that's another Slab City update with Cause. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Sorry about the anger.